Amateur night, Chris the Greek, Stripes, let's get it on.
Let's get it all over. Let's go to the highlights. Let's go to the reviews. Yeah. Townsville Flamettes hosted Rockhampton on the Friday night, and in a major upset, Townsville haven't been that good this year, 73-68 over the Cyclones, seriously denting their hopes to host a final. I see that Lisa Bromberger, top scorer for Townsville, 17, Simone Page, 16, and Sanavaya, how do you say it? Shavanya Dowdell, 20 points for Rocky.
You're American, don't you know how to spell?
I wasn't there when they brought up those kind of names. Shavanya, there was Mary, Alice, and Samantha. So, Sanavia. How do you say it?
Oh.
Who knows? Dowdell had 20. Surprising victory for Townsville. Townsville went up and down all year. I would never pick that.
Of course, we both screwed that up.
I think the whole country did, the whole state, the whole country wouldn't really care. Then we're going to a Saturday night game. Ipswich Forest were on a roll of their own. They were hosting the Gold Coast Rollerettes. And the Rollerettes made a little statement to Ippy that, hey, number one in that pool, South Pool, is not decided. Gold Coast defeated the home court Ipswich Forest 73-64. Nadine Payne, your girl, 22 points for the Forest. Karine Remnick top scored for the Rollers with 23.
And more importantly for that, they get the split.
They do get the split?
Yeah. And it's going to be tough because in that pool, Ipswich has to go Gladstone, Bundaberg, Brodie, and then Gold Coast has Brisbane and trying to think, and who else they have? They've got Maroochydore, so
they're going to pick up 2 wins.
So they could end up being the first. Could have won that game. Could have won it for them.
Yeah, and you want to avoid. You don't want to avoid Bundy. Well, you wanted to avoid Bundy. Now maybe you want to play Bundy, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gold Coast bounced back, and then on the Saturday night out at Hibiscus Center, the Pirates of Southwest notched up their first victory over the Toowoomba Mountaineers. Now I don't have the score here, but it was 79 to something.
It was 70. It was only 5 points.
79, 74, 75.
Yeah, it was.
Toowoomba, I surprised. I thought you'd turn the corner, and happy for Southwest and Coach Scott McKenzie to get the victory.
I was at that game, and it was a really up and down game, and it was. Just decided in the crucial moments. Jess Wallace was amazing. She had like 33 points. Keisha Lee fought alone with 36 points. It was a really good game. I really enjoyed the fact that I've seen a lot of Southwest games and they've come close but no cigar. This was a game that I just wanted them to win, even though I didn't predict them.
And when they did, they broke the goose egg. So no one is going winless in the whole QBL. Men's or women's, well done, Southwest. Stands them in good stead for next year. Let's go up to Cairns, where Rockhampton Cyclones, they're probably like just a slight wind storm that we're on. Now they're the Cyclones. They bounced back, defeated Cairns in Cairns 78. The Cyclones 83, 5-point victory. Kayla Francis 35 for Cairns. Nicole Romeo 26. And it was a close game the whole way, I heard, all the way down the tape. But Cyclones got up to keep their faint hopes of hosting alive, which I don't think they will. I think that's going to be Gladstone. But they did get the win up in Cairns.
It's one of those, that Townsville thing, it's not more about who's going to host. It's more, if you don't get to host the entire finals, at least get home court advantage. And Rocky and Mackay are really in a dogfight when it comes to that.
They are indeed. Maroochydore hosted the cashed up Capitals, the cashed up but underperforming Capitals. And in a close, ugly game, 57-48, Capitals winners. Emma Randall 19 for Brisbane. Brianna Johnson, Maroochydore. To the game of 2 has-beens. That's enough said about that game.
Yeah.
Gladstone in the game of the round, probably hosting Mackay up in Mackay.
No, in Gladstone.
In Gladstone, I meant, is what I meant to say. Gladstone hosting Mackay. The Power, 85, defeated the Meteorettes 73 in a heck of a game. Jess Bibby top scored 25 points. Luella Thomason 22. Gladstone 19 up at halftime. The game was over for all intent purposes. Mackay fought back, but just goes to show how darn tough Gladstone are at home.
Yeah. And they're hitting the right strides there. Gladstone are like, they've got superstars that can take over in a moment's notice. They're like the dream team in QBL women's. They're not going to be easily beaten. They're three-time defending champions. I can't see.
Notch it up as 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Northside hosted the Rollers. Rollers coming off that big win over Ipswich. Stubbed their toe in this one. Wizards 70 defeated the Rollers at Brendale. Your mate Taylor Lilly 32 points. Coast Freeburn Miles 10 each. This team relies on Lilly, and she got it done. They got the victory. A little bit of a mild surprise to me there.
I'm not really surprised because at the end of the day, Gold Coast got what they really wanted. They wanted the game versus Ipswich. If they got the Wizards game, it wouldn't have been just a bonus. And they've got their upper hand. It would have been fantastic if they could beat Northside, but what's the alternative? 0-2 and pretty much having to face Bundaberg at the end?
Yep, exactly. Well, Northside, with that victory, and I think they played Toowoomba this week, if they won, they knocked Brisbane out. All I got to do is get to 8 wins. They do have the Mackay Rocky road trip to finish, is that right? Or is it Cairns-Townsville?
I think it's Cairns-Townsville.
Cairns-Townsville. So they need to win this week against Toowoomba, and they get 8 victories. And the cashed up but underperforming Capitals women's team cannot pass them because they've got the split. So it's coming down. That was a huge victory for Northside to clinch that last spot. So
you've got to give.
I called it clinched a long time ago, but technically uncashed or cashed up Capitals are still a fleeting chance, but you really have to say Northside.
You've got to give credit to Murray though. Like, he's put a decent unit there. He's probably got the find of the season in Taylor Lilly. So I think it's a good.
We'll see how many of them come back next year. Yeah. That'll be interesting. Bundaberg. I have no idea what goes on in Bundaberg, especially now. They were beaten by Mackay 88-64. Mackay bounced back from their loss to Gladstone. And Bundy not able to match it, down by 24. And that game spelled the last game for Dean Page, who was fired by the Bundaberg committee. I don't know, the man's 11 wins, 3 losses, 2 weeks before the finals. Took him to a grand final last year after they were in the wilderness for how many years, didn't make the playoffs. He's 11 wins and 3 losses. Going to host a semi-final again for the 2nd year in a row. Going to make the top 4, more than likely. And they saw fit to fire him. And they fired the assistant coach Burns, who's a coach of some credence to, and now apparently Brenton Edwards, who has no experience coaching at any level other than club and playing, is now the new head coach for the last 2 weeks. To quote I'll use a word your president used, what the is going on in Bundaberg? Yeah. I have no idea. You know, I've heard that some of the local girls didn't like him. There's only 2, so you guys can work it out. Were angered by him. You know, I don't know. He brought the whole team in. Everyone there is brought there by Dean Page. Everyone there was put together by Dean Page. That whole little scenario, and now, thanks a lot, Dean. Here you go. We'll see you later. And there's no whisper of illegalities, of immoral actions, anything like that. It's just a couple of the locals didn't like him, and they said the team was underperforming. Well, I'm sure Brenton Edwards, who's never coached anything in his life, is going to lead him to perform. And then they fire the other guy, Burns, who knows something about, is that his name? Yeah. They fire him as well. So they got Brenton Edwards. I guess it's if you're in the good books with the 2 local girls and the whoever the board is, you know, then I guess you get to stay. But bizarre. Bundaberg, you just ensure that you never ever get a quality coach or any quality players there, really. And I guess unless you pay. So surprising stuff. And wow, Dean Page. You know, I would encourage all the other QBL coaches to vote for him for Coach of the Year, just to show Bundaberg basketball what an insane thing they've done. You know, Danny Page leaves, Dean Page leaves, Burns is gone. Who's going to coach your juniors, mate? You know, maybe Brenton Edwards and the other. What's the men's coach's name? The swimmer.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, I guess they're the new up and coming. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, wow, bizarre.
I can't understand if the team was underperforming. Why didn't they fire him when they had a 1-2 record when they lost to Gold Coast and Gladstone in the first 3 weeks?
They won 10 of their last 11.
Yeah, and
they won 9 in a row.
And the argument, okay, they got hammered by Mackay. First of all, Mackay had to win that game. If they want to have a home final and a chance to get into the fourth, they had to win that game. Second of all, Bundaberg team was. I talked to Dean in person, and he told me that only 4 players were
able to train on Thursday.
On a Thursday. So even if they lose all the games, even if they play juniors, even if they play 14-year-olds, they still won't lose the top 4 spot. They're not going to lose
the final hosting. No.
The final hosting. So everything of that is guaranteed. So okay, so they lose 1 game. He's won 10.
9 in a row. Who knows, man? It's Bundaberg, where the rum is good and the basketball administration is not.